4.5 minutes long. Our video is about 4.5 minutes long. So I'm going to share it, and then I know I have to do one additional thing in order to play the volume when I share it. So if somebody or everybody could kind of give me a thumbs up when you can hear the video, that would be fantastic. So I'm just going to go here, but I know I need to do something else. So there, I'll go here, but I'm going to press play, but I need you to give me a thumbs up if you could hear the sound on the video, because otherwise I need to do something. No, no sound. Okay. This is my fear. Okay. So I am sharing. Share sound. I knew it. Okay. One more time, and you're going to give me a thumbs up when you I'm going to try this one more time.
I look forward to camp
Yes.
all year. This is my happy place. This is where I get to be out of the norm. So I get to be myself. I get to have fun.
The extent to which I've benefited from my 2 years being at Camp Dawn has empowered me not only to reach out to other persons who have walked the road, but to do whatever I can for Camp Dawn, for Julie and her team. I'm just encouraged and inspired to want to do anything that they need me to do, because they have helped me in so many ways. Thank you, Camp Dawn.
Camp means freedom. No pretense. You can be who you are. You don't have to pretend you're fine. You don't have to pretend there's nothing wrong. And at camp, everyone's got issues, and it's perfectly fine. Everyone is like a family. It's a family reunion, an annual family reunion. It's amazing. Camp is something I look forward to every single year, like we all do. It's just the perfect place. It's beautiful, it's quiet, and it's just perfect for all of us.
I get to run the dance. I get to do what I do. I get to interact with other individuals, and I get to help them on their journey, because I love talking to people, obviously. And I get to just make them happy. That's huge. And I think that for me, being at camp is just such a positive experience where all of a sudden it's like I'm a celebrity. Everybody knows Katie because I've been so much and I interact with as many people as I can. And that's a feeling that I don't get at home. I'm not, I'm not that person at home. So it's a really great feeling to be important and matter, I think. That sounds silly, but it's a big deal to me.
Thanks, Lorena. Thank you.
Okay. Can everybody hear me again? Okay. So that was our Camp On video that we were really fortunate to have a volunteer. Oh, 1 second. Um, that that is not what I want at all. That we were really fortunate to have a volunteer come and create for us last year. So give me a thumbs up if you saw yourself in the video or you saw somebody that you knew in the video. Absolutely. I definitely recognize many of you guys from that video. So I'm just going to pull up my presentation and start to go through that. And, hi. Okay, so slide 1. So Camp On is a camping retreat for adult brain injury survivors. We are the only program of its kind actually in Canada. We are entirely run by volunteers. I always say all of us on the board have regular jobs. I'm an accessibility counselor at Fanshawe College, and then I previously worked at brain injury rehab for about 22 years. And so this year camp is being hosted from September 11th to 14th. So who are we? We are a registered Canadian charity. We began in 2003 as a partnership with the Brain Injury Association of Chatham and Kent. And again, we are entirely run by volunteers. So all of us on the board are volunteers. Every leader that comes up is also a volunteer. And we host at Rainbow Lake, which is just outside Waterford, Ontario. And everybody always asks, where is Waterford? I agree. Kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it is close to Brantford, close to Hamilton-ish, that area. Simcoe is the best way to describe it. So what do? We are a 4-day, fully accessible overnight camp for brain injury survivors from across the province. And we provide a 4-day retreat where really survivors can just feel like they're on vacation. That's really the goal, is that this is a vacation for our survivors to be able to come and choose the activities that you would like to do. We obviously, our program team develops a really great schedule of activities, but it's a place where you can just come and have some relaxation time. So in the past 22 years, we have grown. We started in 2003 with, I believe we had 12 survivors. They actually camped outside in tents. I'll tell you more later on in my slides, but we certainly do not camp in tents. We are indoors in cabins. And then last year, we were able to host 95 survivors, and that's about our capacity because all of our survivors and leaders do have to sleep on a bottom bunk, and that's about the capacity of the site. Slide. So this slide always makes me laugh a little bit because there is a mistake on it. But who are our campers? Our campers are brain injury survivors 18 to 65. And then after I put that, I realized that's not true. We have campers that come to camp who are over the age of 80. We have one of our longest term camper is named Wayne. He still runs every single morning. He just turned 80 2 weeks ago, and he has been to every single Camp On since the beginning. I think the reason that we had said 65 originally was that we had felt that people wouldn't want to sleep in a cabin or a bottom bunk after age 65, but I realized that we have quite a few campers that are far past the age of 65, and you are, of course, welcome to attend. if you are older. We the age 18 is a rule though, so we are not a children's camp. You do have to be at least 18 to attend. And we are a relatively kind of 50-50 mix between male and female that attend. I think we have slightly more male campers than female. And most of our campers come from across southwestern Ontario. That's been our primary catchment area. But we actually have a group that comes down from Sudbury. So we are open essentially across the province, but we do try to prioritize campers where a lot of our funding comes from. Our funding is done through sponsorship, which I'll talk about, and that's been primarily from southwestern Ontario. So, one of the keys to coming to camp is that campers have to be independent with aspects of their personal care to come. And if they're not, that is okay, but then they would bring their own one-to-one leader. So, our leaders are volunteers, and oftentimes they're university students, recreation staff, um, agency staff. Lex comes as a leader, so I will remind her to get her application in this year, as I don't see it yet. But our leaders come from kind of across the spectrum, and we just don't have them provide personal care to survivors. So there are lots of campers that come that bring their own one-to-one staff with them, and and of course, one-to-one leaders and leaders don't pay to attend camp to attend. So survivors that come really come from varying points in their recovery. So there are campers that come to camp that are coming right from hospital, very new into their brain injury. Some may live in group homes or group settings, and there are other campers that come that drive their vehicles to camp that still live at home with their families, that are married, raising children, and it's really meant to kind of to reach across the spectrums to be inclusive to everybody. And here is kind of one of my side stories from my presentation. So I first started attending Camp Dawn as a leader in 2007, and I was paid by the agency that I worked for to attend. And I remember looking over to one of my friends who was there as a leader, and I said, "How do I tell who's a camper and who's a leader here?" And she said, "It doesn't matter, other than leaders having to know like who's in their cabin and having a lot, more responsibilities in terms of the things that we sort of make you do over the course of the day, having incredibly long demanding days." She said, "What does it matter who's a camper?" She said, and that's my favorite thing over the years is that I formed so many incredible friendships with survivors that I still go for coffee with, that I chit chat with, that I text. And different than how a lot of agencies operate, we want our campers and leaders to form friendships. We want people um, to go for coffee, to hang out, to text afterwards. And that's sort of been one of my favorite parts of being a leader and then being the director now. So a little bit about our leaders. Our leader applications went on our website on May 1st, and our leaders are 18 plus. Again, oftentimes they're university students, college students, professionals in the field, again, volunteers, and our leaders do online training with me, usually in July or August, but I do set up those times. Many of our leaders are returning leaders and come back year to year. So this question has come up quite a bit, so I do definitely want to address this now. Um, a lot of times, survivors that have come would like to come as leaders in other years. And while we don't say it's a no, one of the things that camp sort of prides itself on is that we want this to be a retreat and some time away for survivors that people don't often get. And while our leaders definitely have a lot of fun at camp, I have a ton of fun at camp. We sort of expect a lot out of our leaders, and they're on their feet for at least 16 hours a day, running around, answering text messages from me, making sure that health and safety is maintained. So what we do is if somebody applies as a new leader, I do send them out sort of a task list to make sure that all of the things that we require of leaders, somebody is able to do, because it is quite demanding. If you're a leader and are not absolutely exhausted and need 3 days sleep after Sunday, I am shocked because I certainly need that while I'm at camp. So Um, and the role of leaders at camp is not to kind of participate in a hierarchy of leader survivor. The role of leaders is really to help facilitate activities. We have a program team that will reach out to leaders to ask which activities they'd like to help lead at camp. And then it's just to maintain safety of their cabin. Like I said, we do expect leaders to kind of be on their feet quite a bit throughout the day, running around. So it can be quite a demanding role. Um, and we also are okay with leaders that can only come up for a part of camp, so for a single day to assist with some activities. But we do prefer our leaders to be there for the entire time of camp, which is the Thursday afternoon to Sunday morning. Did I miss a slide? No. Um, so how camp operates. So we offer busing from 3 different cities, probably 4 this year. Probably we'll be able to do Chatham as well. But we offer busing from Kitchener, London, and Hamilton to our camp. And campers can either take the bus or get a ride up to camp. We open at 11 a.m. on the Thursday. And once you arrive, there is a registration process. Bethany is shaking her head. It is chaotic on day one, isn't it? Yes, but the board has been doing this for so long. We have a really good system in place. But day one in the afternoon is a little chaotic until we assist everybody to their cabins. But essentially, our program team pulls together 4 days of incredible activities. Of course, everything is optional, but we do 4 sessions of canoeing, 2 sessions of high ropes, tons of crafts, karaoke, hikes, yoga meditation, nightly campfires, an incredible dance. I know that we're doing bird watching this year, and we are so open to ideas. So if anybody has ideas, feel free to send me an email, and I am part of the program committee as well. And we will work towards getting everybody's activities incorporated into camp. We kind of pride ourselves on being able to say yes to almost everything. So definitely, if you have ideas, send them along. Um, there are 3 meals a day and snacks, and they are prepared by the camp kitchen staff. Thank goodness we do not have to prepare our own food. And anybody that is on this call that was at camp last year, was the food good? Thumbs up or thumbs down? I think the food at camp is incredible. I will send Kelly a copy of our menu from last year, just so that she can share it with anybody that wants. But we do things like pizza, hot breakfast, bacon and eggs, hash browns, chicken tzatziki wraps, brownies for dessert, lots of salad. Tons and tons of great options. You should never be hungry at camp. There is so much food. Um, there is also coffee, tea, and hot chocolate that's available 24 hours a day in the dining hall. And of course, lots and lots of water stations as well, as it can get quite warm at camp and we want people to stay hydrated. If you have a special diet, so you're vegan, vegetarian, keto, etc., that's a question on the application form, and the kitchen can accommodate, I would say, most special diets. You just pick up your meal separately. It's just located more at the kitchen area versus in the buffet style lines. In terms of cabins, I think I have a funny slide coming up about cabins, but all of the cabins are completely wheelchair accessible. Cabins kind of join together, so 7A and 7B join together, and like they're separate. There's a large deck on the front. Each cabin has 3 bedrooms, and 2 of the bedrooms are for campers, for survivors. So there's between 2 and 3 campers in each bedroom on a bottom bunk, never more than 3. And then 2 leaders are in each cabin, and they have their own room as well. There are 2 washrooms in each cabin with not an accessible shower. In most cabins, there is a cabin, though, that does have accessible showers. So if you need that, we can certainly assist you with getting down there. And like I said, the experience of camp is really just unique to each survivor. So we have some campers that come that want to try absolutely every activity, and that is amazing. And we have other campers that come that want to drink coffee and play cards for 4 days, and that is amazing as well. We have had campers come that said, I just want to come to the dining hall and then I want to sit on the deck of my cabin and read my book. And that's acceptable as well. Um, Again, sort of one of my side stories is when I had first come to camp in 2007 is I turned to one of my friends and I said, what are the rules? What time do people have to go to bed? She said, these are adults. She's like, they can go to bed when they want. Like they can get up when they want. And we really try to again pride ourselves on being able to say yes to everything. So there is no time that you have to be at your cabin. Um, if you don't want to get up, first thing in the morning for breakfast at 8, simply let the leader in your cabin know, and they'll put breakfast aside and put it in the fridge for you. That can be heated up afterwards. If you need a nap in the afternoon, let your leader know, hey, I'm going to my cabin. I'm going to chill for a bit. Um, yeah, we try to have as few sort of rules about what people can and can't do as possible. And then, of course, the rules that we do have are universal to board members, leaders, and campers. So there's no specific rules for campers that I don't apply to leaders as well. So my funny slide, do we make you sleep in tents, Diljeeth? Yes or no? Heck no. Like I said, all cabins are wheelchair accessible, 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms, 2 to 3 campers per bedroom, 1 room for the leaders, bottom bunks only. I wish I didn't have to put this in, but no, nobody can go on a top bunk because I have had people fall off the top bunk and then I will send you to the hospital, which is not ideal. Each cabin does have air conditioning and there are fans in each cabin, which is absolutely ideal, even though we do operate in September. In each cabin, there is a common area. There is a large table in each cabin, and there is a huge front deck with lounge chairs as well. Myself and another board member who's actually been involved with camp even longer than me, we will place you in a cabin that best fits your needs. So on the camper application, we ask about your ability to walk distances. There isn't any cabin that is a significant walk to the dining hall. Some are a little bit further than others, but certainly not a significant walk. And we try our best to put you in a cabin that you're obviously in a cabin with the same gender campers, but also people that you are friends with, that you request to be with, people that are close to your age as well. And that's a question on the application. So Karis and I, we call it our Camp Dawn puzzle, but we work on that after all the camper applications come in to make sure people are put in the cabin that best fits their needs and wants. The other thing that we provide in each cabin is if you require a shower bench or a commode to assist you, we will place that in your cabin as well for your use while you're at camp. Sometimes people ask, how much time do we spend in our cabins? We don't spend hardly any time in our cabins. From the time you get up in the morning until the time you go to bed, you essentially are outside or in the dining hall doing activities. Of course, you can go to your cabin and have a rest whenever you need. But sometimes people worry that they will be in a cabin with people that they don't like. And we really do try our best to make sure that doesn't happen, but realize that you spend next to no time in your cabin at all. So, is there a question in the chat that I can answer? Oh, got it, Donna. Just anxious to leave. Medications. So campers do have to be independent with their meds to come to camp. And what that means is that every camper and leader, when they arrive at camp, will hand in their medications and we will put them in a Ziploc bag and then they're in the med room. And the med room is at the very back of the dining hall. So you have access to your meds 24 hours a day. There's always a board member in that room. And simply whenever you need your meds, you come, we pass you your med bag, and then you return it when you're done. So we do make reminders at all of the meals about med times. That's something you can ask your cabin leader about as well, is to say, hey, can you just give me a reminder that I need to grab my meds? And again, you can access those whenever you need. A board member is in that room 24 hours. Again, like I said, we make announcements for them, and ideally meds are brought in blister packs, but certainly you can bring them however you like, and we'll label your bag with your name on it. And then at the end of camp, you'll just simply pick it up to pack in your bag to come back. Previous years, up until last year, we had you fill out your medication form with your initial application, and we stopped doing that. So once I accept you to camp, which is the first week of August, I'll go over that too. Um, I will send you a copy of the medication form. It just gets filled out by you. It doesn't have to be filled out by a doctor. And you simply are listing your medications and your times so that we can create kind of MAR sheets, but not really MAR sheets, just so we know when people have come to pick up their meds. So that, like I said, that information I will send to you after we do acceptances. Um, and then, like I said, I'm just posting a couple pictures of leaders and campers. Again, you're not always going to be able to tell who's a camper and who's a leader. Everybody wears a name badge, and which has your name, cabin number, and it does say camper or leader on it. We tried a few years ago. We had thought um, that people would not want to have that differentiation about who's a camper and who's a leader on their name badge. But what we heard from campers is that they really do need to know who is a leader and who they can go to with questions. So we did put that back on there. But again, we really want people to relate to each other as friends and not a hierarchy of who's a camper and who's a leader. So um, we do get our leaders 3 times a day to just check in with the board member. Board members, myself, and the rest of the team that come, we are on the floor. We are available essentially 24 hours a day at camp. You can literally send me a text message 24 hours and I will reply to you, or somebody on the board at camp will reply to you to help you the entire time you're there. So don't ever be afraid to do that. Um, and then kind of like I said, a typical day is busy. Every activity this year is going to be offered twice, and that was due to feedback from some of our campers because they might have signed up or they might have indicated they wanted to do a certain craft on Friday at 10 and then they missed another activity. So every craft, every activity is going to be offered more than once at camp. We post the activity schedule all over camp as well. You get a copy of it in your lanyard when you sign in and arrive at camp. So you always have that. I make announcements about it at every meal, what activities are coming up. And then there's always the dining hall is always open for cards and games. Like I said, 24 hours a day. You can always do that anytime. One of the activities I forgot to mention that we do is fishing. Julie does not fish. Julie will not touch the fish, but you can actually catch some really cool and big fish in the lake at camp. So that is another fun activity. I hate talking about cost because I know it can be a barrier at times. Camper fees this year, we did have to raise to $300 total for campers. Sometimes people think that the cost of us running camp is really inexpensive, but it actually costs us about $75,000 to run the program for 4 days. And the reason that we had to raise it this year from last year is because the site that we host at Rainbow Lake increased their fees to us, and we are entirely operated by camper fees, sponsorship, which I'm sure Kelly can tell you is difficult to secure at times, and donations. So the 300 for campers covers bus transportation, covers all of our activities, all of your meals. Everybody gets a camp shirt when they arrive. This year we have even more really cool swag that we're giving away, including water bottles again when people arrive. It covers the cost of, like I said, our insurance. High ropes is a fee that isn't included in our camp price, so we have to pay for that separately. And so that is the fee for this year. Again, previous years we've had campers pay the fee up front with their application, and that's not the case again this year. The fee is due within 2 weeks of my acceptance email to you. So it's not due until the end of August. And, if people, I was going to say, if people want to pay in 2 parts, I think I can accept that, but you can always send me an email about that. Camp fees can be paid by check, credit card, or e-transfer. And e-transfer can be done right on the website this year. We had one of our volunteers redesign our website, so I definitely want to show that off a little bit in a few minutes. And the rules, again, the rules apply to everybody. They apply to me as well as everybody. So cigarette smoking is allowed at camp, but it's in two designated areas only, the campfire pit, and then we set up a space that is beside the dining hall, but far enough away that people don't have to walk through it for people that are non-smokers. And we have to be really, really diligent to make sure that people that do smoke are using the cans at camp. Camp Trillium, like I said, is a kids' cancer camp normally, and they really give us a break in allowing our campers to come in and leaders and smoke on the site, and they allow us that with the kind of rule that we are very, very careful in making sure that it's only done in those two areas. I get this question every year. Medical marijuana is able to be used at camp, but we do keep it in the med room. It is used under a supervision of a board member in a separate designated area. It's not a social activity, even though it's legal. We don't allow alcohol on site either. We prefer that medical marijuana is brought in any other form than smoking it ideally, but we do understand that some people use it that way, but it does have to come with a doctor's note. Again, it is a kids' cancer camp, and they do not allow outside food or drink to come onto the site. They are peanut free completely. And like I said, we have tons and tons of food and snacks at camp, so you should never be hungry. And if you are, let us know because we will rectify that. Only registered service animals are allowed on site at camp. We cannot allow emotional support animals, and that is again due to the rule from Camp Trillium. Last year, we did have a registered therapy dog who came with a client from Traverse, and he did exceptionally well. So that was our first time with that, and it worked out beautifully, actually. Again, violence and harassment from anybody won't be tolerated. Campers and leaders who drive to camp do have to hand in their keys when they arrive. Sometimes there's something comes up where a camper is like, I have this appointment that I have to leave 2 hours for. Of course, you can have your keys, and same as a leader if you need to leave the site for any reason. But again, we all hand in our keys on arrival. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol. No swimming. I really didn't think I would have to put this in until about 5 years ago when I was doing leader training at camp, and somebody came running in and said, "There's two people swimming in the lake." Um, the lake at camp is full of E. coli. It is not a healthy place to swim, and our insurance agent would shut us down if we allowed swimming at camp. We would never be insured for it. I have requested from the site this year, there is a large splash pad at one of the front parts of camp. I have requested that gets opened this year for some cooling off time if people need it. But yes, you definitely don't want to swim in the lake, and we definitely can't allow it. Tell me about the food. Food is fantastic. Food's one of my favorite parts of camp. So buffet style, 3 meals a day, 2 snacks, might even be 3 snacks a day, actually. Again, meals include things like bacon and eggs, pizza, salad, tacos. Brownies are my most favorite thing at camp. Lots of fruit and vegetables, lots of salads. We do pop and chips at night, especially on the night of the dance. So that was a camper request from a couple years ago. So we have pop and chips. I think we're probably going to do it all 3 nights, actually. I talked about special diets. That's something you'll indicate on your camper form. All of those types of diets can be accommodated. And again, no outside food or drink can be brought to camp. Of course, if you are diabetic and need to keep something in your cabin just because of low blood sugar, indicate that on your camper or leader application form, because of course there are accommodations that we can make, but as a rule, no outside food or drink can come in. And that's sort of the end of my presentation. I want to just show people the new website, but We are on Facebook. We have our regular Facebook page, and then we also have a Camper Friends and Family group on Facebook that I will pull up quickly as well. Campers and leaders are more than welcome to add me as a friend on Facebook. If you do, I will see when your birthday is, and then I will do a birthday shout out in the camper group. I try not to miss anybody's. I think maybe this year I've only missed one person's, but I recognized it a day later. So we try to post a ton of pictures in that group, answer questions, share videos, etc. It's just a more private group than the main page where people can ask questions without kind of, everybody in Ontario that follows our regular Facebook page having access to it. And feel free to invite your family members to that group as well so they can see some of the cool things that we do. Um, Even though camp only runs once a year, I try to do, some games in that group. The other day, I did a couple kind of scavenger hunt games and sent out two Tim Hortons gift cards to two campers that won those. So we try to do some things to keep people engaged in camp year round. Um, so my last thing is when I said that there was an 80-year-old gentleman that came to camp, that is Wayne on the left-hand side there. He is in the photo. He is wonderful. He messaged me the other day and said that he will be coming to camp until he's 100. So I guess I'm operating camp until he is 100. Um, but that that is essentially the end of my presentation. I am open to questions now, and then I will show people the website.
Okay, and I'm going to stop recording so that people are more comfortable asking questions. And thanks, Julie. And camp is amazing. I find for anybody who's also trying to push themselves to the next level of their recovery, it's a must go. And she is right, the food is outstanding.